Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that basketball analysis on the Analysis Playground. And on YouTube, we're going to talk about the potential players that can possibly win MVP in the 24-25 season. Is a lot of guys that has the talent, has the ability to have the record, best player on the best team, best numbers. All these guys have been in the conversation before or have finished real high in the conversation before, but literally is only going to be one player that deserves the MVP. And this is just my thoughts and how I feel, and it's just a fun prediction video, and it's just bragging rights if you get it right because you never really know. I have got it right before, but we're gonna see if I can do it again this season, and it's just gonna be something to expect and what to look for as the season continues to progress and things continue to happen on and off the basketball court. So we're gonna look at Jalen Brunson as number 7. Obviously, the Knicks have a chance, if healthy, to have a crazy amount of wins. They can even rival what the Celtics did last year because they have two-way players in Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. They have an offensive powerhouse in Jalen Brunson, a prober, a guy that can handle the ball, get to his shots anytime he wants to. He can even set teammates up for better shots, and that's what they're going to have. Guys that's going to be playing 3-and-D type of style while still being able to come off screens and still be able to be a factor in the offense. And then you have a big man that gives the floor spacing for everybody to be able to cut to the basket, and even himself being able to put the ball on the floor, get all the way to the basket for centers that's too short or too slow. He can take advantage of that and even hit threes in mid-range. And the helm of all of it will be Jalen Brunson, the guy that's going to bring up the floor, read what they're trying to do, read a way to execute against the defense, and then make the right play, whether it's him scoring or setting somebody up or him just getting off the ball. And I think that his numbers have always been in that MVP conversation the last couple of years. Now we're starting to see him become more popular and his teammates get more better. And then it's just about him taking advantage of the situation that he's in, which he has been able to do even last year. As you can see, the numbers, the 28 points and stuff like that, those are MVP numbers. You just need more wins to back up, to validate that point that you're essential to what the team does on and off the court, which is obvious with a player like Jalen Brunson. And it started with his leadership, taking less money to be able to help this roster get put together. Now we're going to see how they really play. Number 6, I would say, would be Anthony Edwards. He's a guy that can score more points, going to have more opportunity, and he's going to have more pressure and more weight on him when it comes to carrying this Minnesota franchise, one that's championship list. And he has been that guy that has been the personality, been the talker, been the guy that feels confident in his team, likes what the team has been doing. Obviously, we don't really know how he really feels about the trade that actually happened, but I would say Anthony Edwards, they said it's your team or my team, whether if he felt the same way or not. Now it's just time for him to have that weight to be able to back it up, just like Jalen Brunson. You have a team that you should be able to win with, especially when it comes to the regular season. You have a team that kind of fits what you're trying to do. The trade made it a little worse, but they're going to have similar type of roles. And I think Randall can be an offensive weapon for them because he has proven it throughout his career, especially the last 5 years. And I think even when the offense gets stuck or gets stagnant, they're going to look for Anthony Edwards to be the hero, to make those daggers, to make those tough shots, and then he becomes the hero of Minnesota. We lost Towns, but look at what Anthony Edwards had to do. Look what he had to bring to the table. Look at all the things he has to do on a nightly basis, and that narrative allows him to be able to be a favorite in the MVP conversation. So it makes sense. I don't think he's going to be efficient enough. I don't think he's going to play great enough defense because this is a whole nother level that he's not used to, and it takes an adjustment period to be able to carry a team the way that he's going to need to be able to do it. And then we probably can see a better Anthony Edwards next year in a 2025-2026 season where he's accustomed to it and they demand it from him, and then he might be able to deliver or not. We don't really know, but that's the direction this team is going in, and they really building around Anthony Edwards. Another one, Joel Embiid, if he's healthy, which he's going to play enough games to put himself in the conversation, probably he's going to be able to make some noise that Philly needs me. Paul George, he's a guy that can camouflage and hide and disappear sometimes. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey is aggressive, but he can't win the game on his own. They need Big B to be a 30-point scorer. They need him to hit mid-ranges. They need him to put buckets in the paint. They need him to be an interior force. They need him to be one of the best rebounders. He's going to be a 25 plus scorer with the rebounds and everything. I just feel like it's just going to take them time to get used to each other, and it's going to take them some time, to jail. And after that, this team is going to be flying. This is going to be one of the best teams, whether Joel Embiid plays 65 games or not. They just have enough talent and enough depth to where they can be a competitive team regardless. But if Joel Embiid is healthy, he's going to make that type of impact because that's just the way he plays now. That's just the way he has his mentality that nobody can guard me, nobody can stop me. I can do whatever I want on the court, and I'm smart enough to get to the free throw line. And since he's a great free throw shooter too, that's just another way for him to rack up points and rack up stats to put himself in a conversation. I do think he needs to be a better decision maker, and he does need to be a better facilitator when he does have the ball in his hands. And he needs to get off it of it a little earlier. He needs to come down to earth sometimes and stop forcing it or trying to try too hard or do too much. He does need to stop collapsing on the court and falling too much. I think that's another bad look for him because he is huge, he is big, and it does look a little silly that you're allowing these guys that's smaller than you and less more powerful than you to bully you a little bit. And I think that toughness is something that he's missing in that edge. He never really been a tough edge type of guy. And I think that he has to have that killer instinct if this team is finally able to get over the hump. And if he doesn't, you need to give him a teammate that does. So that way it can make it easier for him. But when it comes to numbers, when it comes to dominance, Joel Embiid is going to be one of those guys. And a lot of that is all you need to do to be in the narrative of MVP. And that's a conversation you just need to have. Another one is Nikola Jokic. I don't think he will be MVP, but he definitely going to be top 3. The guy's going to rebound. He's going to pass. He's going to score. And the Nuggets is going to be one of the best teams in the NBA. And those 4 points allow you to know that Jokic is the real deal. And he has been. I don't really see any major injuries. He did well in the Olympics. He's virtually unstoppable. And if he is stopped to a certain degree, he's making somebody else make an easy uncontested shot, which helps the offense be flatlined and a lot more easier. And it's all because of the influence that Jokic has on the court. And I think that he's going to be in the MVP conversation even in his 30s because he just makes the game that much easier for everybody, and he just scores so effortlessly. So Jokic definitely going to be in that conversation. And then Luka Doncic, I got him at number 2. He's going to have more wins than he had last year. Having a 3-point sniper in that corner at the top of the key just makes the offense flow better, just make the offense just a lot more smoother. And the fact that he can score at will and get to the free throw line almost at will, and he can finish a little bit better now because he does use his footwork and his patience to be able to score a lot better. But it's all dependent on their record. Will they have a record better than Denver? Will they have a record better than Minnesota? Will they have a record better than Memphis? Will they have a record better than the Oklahoma City Thunder? And if they don't, and the numbers are comparable, which a lot of these guys like Embiid and Jokic and Luka, they all in the same range of scoring and all in the same range of doing multiple things on the court to contribute to your team winning, I believe that it makes sense to put them in that conversation like it always has. And people have been waiting and waiting for Luka to actually win the MVP, and they forget that it's players that's dominating a little bit more consistently than he is and more efficiently than he is. And that's the reason why Luka has been falling short, especially when you look at the fact that they also been winning more games than what Luka has been able to lead his team with. And I feel like this is finally a team where they have depth, they have athleticism, they have shooting, and they have size that he can really put up a better argument this year. But I just feel like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just has a chance to continue where they left off at, which is having the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. He already averaged 30. He can get rebounds. He can get assists. He can be clutch. He can take over games. He can make people's jobs easier. And his team has gotten better, and he's going to continue to grow with this team. And if they continue to make plays and make shots, and Shai continue to set them up while feeding himself and keeping the defense, honest, and you can always get to the free throw line just like a Luka or a Joel Embiid or a Jokic, which he hasn't been able to do in his career. I just feel like Shai going to be lasered in, focused, knowing what's the task at hand, and just going in there trying to do the best that he can to be able to win. And like an honorable mention, I would say for that other spot would probably be Jason Tatum. He looks like he's motivated. He looks like he's hungry. He looks like he has something to prove. He seems like he's in really, really great shape, and that's really good to start training camp. That's really good to start training camp. And I think that Jason Tatum is a guy that has been in the conversation or close to in being in the winning conversation. He just been on a team that don't really need him to do as much, don't really force him to do as much because they play team basketball, because the NBA is a pride fest and it is a team sport. So you have to rely on your teammates to back you up and to have your back. And since he has Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, also has Kristaps Porzingis, it's harder to put up those numbers and be able to carry a load, but you can win it like Bird, best player on the best team, and just having a dominant regular season. We seen him average 30. We seen them have a great record, but he got to put that 30-point season with the rebounds, with the assists, with the impact, with the difference making, and he got to have, everybody cheering for him winning. Another dominant season for the Celtics is the ideal situation, but he has to show that I'm a little bit more higher than Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown always is that 1A, 1B. You kind of do have to separate yourself from a Jaylen Brown on your roster to be able to be looked at as the leader and as the best player. And although we have said that Tatum is the best player, it does make sense that he still had to make that full separation of, I'm the best player on the team, you're number two. And I think this is a season where he might be hungry enough to prove it and still win games, because they still need these guys to play at an MVP type level to beat the competition, because the East got stronger and the Western Conference got stronger, I believe. And now you have to play at a higher level to be able to beat these teams, especially because when you win a championship, everybody's coming for your head. Everybody wants to prove that they can beat you. Everybody's goal is to show that they compete with you before the playoffs start. And since that is the truth, and that always has been the truth, especially the fact that they already came off a finals loss before, it's just about getting the best play that you can get, trusting your players the most. And that's something that everybody on these lists is going to have in common. But I do feel like Tatum is going to be in that conversation too. I just feel like Shea has more on his shoulders. He has proven that they can win games. He has proven that he can be a dominant player. He has proven that he can be a go-to player even in the clutch. And he has done it. And I think that this is just a year where he just feels more comfortable, more confident, and he just feel like he don't have to do as much to set his teammates up, because they more confident that they can do it themselves, allowing him to be able to set them up for easier execution type of shots. And then he can just go out there and slither his way to the paint, slither his way to the mid-range jump shot, and just show you that he's unstoppable, just like everybody that I mentioned on this list. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. If you're new to the channel, make sure you check out my older videos. And if you've already been a part of the channel, it may be a video you may have missed that you wanted to watch. So don't forget to check those out too. And thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. This keeps this channel popular. This keeps this channel popping. And it keeps people coming back, and adding more people to the family is a goal of AnalysisPlayground.com. And every other YouTube channel is going to feel the same way. So if you keep watching, you keep liking, keep sharing, this channel can stay one of the biggest in the entire basketball universe, and just one of the biggest YouTube channels in general, which it has been the last couple years. And I want to continue that, and I want to say thank y'all for that. And other than that, I'm gone. Peace. We got more award predictions coming up throughout the entire week, and we'll see what we doing with preseason, as that's only 3 days away. So instant analysis definitely will be happening with that, and that should give y'all more to watch and more things to do when it comes to basketball content, which y'all want more of. And like I said, I upload every day, so I got plans for that already. So it gives you a reason to stay subscribed and want to be subscribed. So look forward to that. I'm gone.